Civil wars. The very phrase conjures up images of chaos, violence, and heartbreak. These are not just distant events in history books or dramatic scenes in movies, they are real, ongoing tragedies that continue to shape the world we live in today. They're the kind of thing we read about in headlines or hear in distant news reports, often feeling a sense of detachment because it's happening somewhere else to someone else. But the truth is, when a country turns on itself, the damage goes far beyond the rubble of buildings or the crumbling of infrastructure. The scars left behind are deeper and more complex than any photograph can capture. Let's talk about what really gets destroyed when civil war erupts. It's not just the physical landscape that's changed forever, but the very fabric of society itself. First off, cities and villages get torn apart, homes reduced to dust, schools and hospitals knocked out of service. The places where people once felt safe and built their lives are suddenly unrecognizable. But that's just the surface. The visible destruction is only the beginning of the story. The deeper wounds are the ones you can't see. Civil wars rip apart families. Loved ones are separated, sometimes forever, by front lines, checkpoints, or forced displacement. Friends become enemies overnight, neighbors can't trust each other, and sometimes people are forced to choose sides they never wanted. Communities that once celebrated together are now divided by suspicion and fear. This kind of psychological and emotional trauma can stick around for generations. It changes the way people see each other and themselves. Children grow up with memories of violence, and adults carry invisible scars that shape their lives long after the fighting stops. Economies? Forget it. Civil wars shatter whatever stability people had. The local market, once bustling with life, becomes a ghost town. Businesses close, jobs vanish, currencies collapse. People lose not just their livelihoods but their sense of purpose and security. Suddenly, even basic necessities, food, clean water, medicine, become rare and expensive. Families wait in long lines for supplies, never knowing if there will be enough to go around. It's not just about money, it's about survival. Every day becomes a struggle to meet the most basic needs, and the stress of uncertainty weighs heavily on everyone. And then there's education. Imagine being a kid and your school is gone, your teachers are gone, and your future feels like it's been stolen from you. The dreams of an entire generation are put on hold or lost completely. That's not just a setback for one child, it's a setback for a whole generation. The loss of education means fewer opportunities, less hope, and a harder path to rebuilding when the war is over. Civil wars also create massive waves of refugees. People flee their homes, sometimes with nothing but the clothes on their backs. They leave behind everything they know, hoping to find safety somewhere else. They end up in unfamiliar places, trying to rebuild their lives from scratch, often facing discrimination or poverty in their new homes. The journey is dangerous, and the future is uncertain, but maybe the worst damage is to hope. When war becomes a way of life, it's easy to lose faith in the possibility of peace. Civil war erodes the trust and optimism a society needs to move forward. People become wary of each other, and the sense of community that once held them together is replaced by suspicion and fear. People start believing that violence is normal, that peace is out of reach. The next generation grows up thinking conflict is just a part of life, and the cycle threatens to repeat itself. It's a kind of invisible destruction, hard to measure but devastating all the same. The loss of trust, the broken relationships, the shattered dreams. These are wounds that don't heal easily. Rebuilding after a civil war isn't just about bricks and mortar, it's about healing wounds you can't see. It's about helping people find hope again, and giving them the tools to rebuild their lives from the inside out. It's about finding ways to trust again, to forgive, to believe that things can get better. True recovery means addressing the pain that lingers long after the last shot is fired. So, next time you see a headline about a civil war, remember, the real damage is deeper than any crater or shattered window. It's about lives interrupted, futures stolen, and a society struggling to find its way back to normal. It's the kind of destruction that takes years, sometimes generations, to repair. The process is slow, and the challenges are immense, but every step forward matters. And that's why peace matters, not just for safety, but for the soul of a society. Because in the end, it's not just about ending violence, it's about restoring hope, dignity, and the possibility of a better future for everyone.